Alrighty. Howdy ho, folks. Multiversal Medium here for another episode of Silent Hope. Last time we left off, I don't know. I got deeper in the dungeon, which I suppose we're doing kind of every episode, you know, just kind of par for the course. But also, paired that with the fact, ooh, defeat 4 monsters with dancing blades. Which one's dancing blades again? Okay. Was also just talking about stupid nonsense that was happening around the holidays and why I don't have certain challenge videos up, sadly. Because I wanted certain challenge videos up. Just paired with the fact, like, oh yeah, I haven't figured out what challenge to do. For February or whatever, even though this is being recorded for February so far, much less the meta game to do for that month either. I've got a few ideas, but that also just kind of like, oh, get this going and I should be able to take these guys out. There we go. There we go. About what was happening around December, which is why I don't have the Alice challenge video I wanted up during January. Okay, we got attack speed, but who do I want to switch into? I do need to switch. Let's just go with her, I guess. And I mentioned it was partially just holiday nonsense from future in-laws, but it's also beyond that. I believe I was mentioning, like, yeah, I'll go into detail about how I view the holidays as a whole. Yeah, that was it. No more beating around the bush. That was it. Anyways, in my view at this point, the holidays just kind of effing suck. And it's not really anyone's family's issue. It's not like, oh, I don't want to deal with the holidays because I don't want to deal with my family. It's more, oh, I don't want to deal with the holidays because the holidays are just not very forgiving to almost anyone, really. The holidays as a whole have become a big, like, keeping up with the Joneses kind of mentality, at least in the US, based on this weird capitalistic ideology that you need to spend more and more and buy the newest, bestest thing in order for your holidays to be worthwhile, all while, like, every single company that's just trying to steal your money is putting on this huge facade of, like, yeah, we care about people, we really do. We care about you and your family. So it's just very disingenuous when it's like, you guys just care about our money. If you cared about people's family, you'd be paying your, like, workers a decent living wage kind of thing. And it's all starting to really come to a head with the more capitalistic holidays like Christmas. Because, like, in the US at least, nobody can afford anything. Seriously, nobody can afford anything. Everything's going up weirdly in price. Like, I was talking to my fiance and we're, like, looking at, like, grocery price wise, and we're like, is it just cheaper to do, like, a ship to home, like, monthly food subscription than, like, groceries? Because it's like, I think $60 for 3 meals for 2 people or whatever per week for some of these food subscriptions, which sounds like whatever. And it's like, yeah, that's arguably cheaper than some groceries. It's hard to afford groceries nowadays. It's just effing absurd. It's just not easy to do almost anything in this country because of how stupidly overpriced everything is. While a lot of people are just refusing to raise the minimum wage for people to afford things, and it's, like I said, reaching ahead. And it's becoming more and more apparent every single holiday. And there's a lot of people out there that are like, nah, we had it worse when we were younger or whatever. And it's like, did you though? You're making the equivalent of like $25 when you were younger. Do you not know how inflation works? And it's just like, yeah, but I wasn't making that much. And it's like, it's the equivalent of that much. Like, it used to be in the US, a single income family, let's say, yeah, I've read somewhere, back in the day, some people were considered like lower class because they just had a single income parent, which wasn't super bad. But that single income parent with an unskilled labor job, arguably maybe it was skilled. Every job's technically skilled, let's be honest. It is. You pay people for a job because you don't want to do that job. It is a skilled labor thing at the end of the day. But basically, it was a job that like they kind of, it was a fast food job. They were a manager. A fast food manager used to make enough money to support him, his wife, and their 3 kids, and still get luxuries and own a home. They weren't living in squalor, basically, is what I'm saying. As a, like, it wasn't even like a full manager of the business. I think it was like a middle manager of a fast food joint. You used to make enough money in the economy, like, just ratio-wise, that on a single income, you could support 5 people, have a home, and have luxuries. That is absurd nowadays in the US economy. Like, effing absurd. Like, that is a weird pipe dream. You say you can do that, they're like, what do you do for a living if you can afford that kind of thing? Like, what do you do? Like, I need to get in that field if, like, whatever the heck you're doing is that level of you're able to make that much money kind of thing. Crit damage boost plus 30% via this character. That's nice.
A new challenge.
Actually, really nice. And, like, basically, at least US economy-wise, a lot of people can't afford to live alone, even if they're single. Like, people can't afford apartments now. Just 100%, they cannot afford to live in an apartment by themselves. And that's not a matter of like, oh, they need a better paying job. No job pays well enough to afford to live nowadays. They can't afford rent. And it's like, well, rent's not that bad. And it's like, rent is so bad, it costs more than trying to pay off a house in the US. Legit, your payments for rent in a lot of places is just more expensive than trying to pay off a home. But you can't pay off a home because obviously most people can't freaking afford a home just full outright purchase wise. It's a lot of money. It's nearing $1 million or whatever, even for like shabby houses, depending on where you're at. So people need to get loans, and they can showcase they can pay off that loan or whatever. It's like, well, no, the bank doesn't care. They think you don't make enough money. Even though, say you make, gosh, a 2,000 whatever. Actually, it'd probably be more like 4K. Because I've seen freaking people mention their rent or whatever is like 4K a month. And they're paying that. Meanwhile, a mortgage payment via a loan or whatever would be 2K a month. They'd legit be saving money by trying to move into a house, but the bank doesn't think they can afford it, even though they're already paying that much. And that's how the US economy is. And that's before we take into account like groceries and stuff. Groceries are just stupidly overpriced. A lot of corporations freaking found out during COVID, they could just kind of like mark up the price on a lot of things. And since the consumers need it, they can't really do anything about it. And I know in other countries, it's like, well, just go somewhere else. And like, why does it cost so much? The US is in a really weird spot. So, all of our groceries, all of our like food products, for a majority of Americans are not made in the state they're in. And they're shipped to the state they're in before going on store shelves. That's why we have milk and eggs a bit differently than most other countries, so on and so forth. Our country is just so large, basically, that... Oh, that bear just got, like, stun locked by that. That was pretty funny. I dodged in the opposite direction. Whatever. Whatever. So, like, for every grocery or whatever, it's being, like, basically delivered via semi-trucks and the like overnight, and it's a huge industry just to get this stuff places on time before it goes bad. Just because the US is so large. But that's also paired with another aspect. The US's infrastructure is not built in a way that is good for the consumer, I guess you could say. In the US, you can't really walk to a majority of stores, businesses, or things you would need, honestly. A majority of the things you need in the US are just kind of, where the heck do we need to go? I guess it would be over here. Yeah, don't... Oh, is it the top? Okay. These dungeons are starting to get a bit too big, man. But, basically, the US is built, infrastructure-wise, with the expectation that you and everyone else has a vehicle and are driving the vehicle. Most people can't get to work via walking or public transportation because our public transportation isn't viable. Like 100%, it's just not viable. Actually, is it the bottom left of the other screen? Was it on the first map? That's okay. Yeah, sure. We'll take this little teleport, dude. And honestly, our infrastructure being that way is intentional. Decades ago, like before I was even born, automobile industries legit sabotaged public transportation infrastructure so that it wouldn't be viable in the US. So they could sell more and more automobiles, and the entire infrastructure was built around it. So say I would need to get one ingredient for a recipe I'm making. To do that, I need to spend about 5 to 15 minutes driving, all the gas for doing such. And that is one way to get to a grocery store just to get the one ingredient to come back and then start cooking. That's how the infrastructure in the US is set up. And it's not a good infrastructure setup. It really isn't. It's not super good for almost anyone involved unless they're higher up on the food chain. Which, like most countries, the US is weirdly a caste system without people comprehending such. Like, people know and they joke about it, but they don't realize it's actually just a caste system. I've seen jokes about like, oh, how can you tell if your kid's going to go to like an Ivy League school or whatever? And other people are joking like, that's pretty obvious. You can tell just by how much money their parents had if they're going to an Ivy League school. Kind of thing. because like a lot of aspects of American culture are, let's see here, power up, cooldown is, let's just go with this one, whatever, and then switch characters. A lot of aspects of American society are kind of locked behind being able to just have money.
Keep up the good work.
So those with money are just doing well. At least this is a good thing about frickin' range combat. I can aim. Okay, yeah, there's a bit of a... Alright. Yeah, sure, man. There we go. Yeah, I can aim off ledges and stuff and hit enemies. That's nice, especially with all these explosions. This character is really good at positioning nonsense. I like it. But yeah, a lot of aspects of American culture are kind of locked behind wealth. That's in a lot of countries. That is not just an American thing. That is just a thing in a lot of countries. The issue being that that wealth disparity is growing obscenely and exponentially. Like, very obscenely and exponentially. I don't know anyone who's technically middle class anymore. I used to know people that were middle class. Like, my family growing up used to be middle class. Now we're arguably upper lower class and just trying to figure out how to afford a majority of things. Oh, this is the boss fight. Should we try it? I mean, yeah, let's try it. Let's just go for it. We may as well. We got like half an episode left. Here, skill wise, can she upgrade? She can upgrade out of my way. Yeah, may as well. Yep, alright. May as well try for it. But, yeah, basically it's going to heck in a handbasket very obviously as of late. And it's getting worse bit by bit. A majority of houses aren't owned by people, they're owned by corporations. Corporations get more votes than you, so on and so forth. Well, isn't she pretty? Honestly, I was thinking, like, Bomb Dude was honestly probably a smart move. Like, just gameplay-wise. Lady Snowmancer. Oh, that's probably not good. Okay, cool. Probably weak to fire by the looks of it. Okay, cool. I'm assuming the icon next to her health bar or whatever is actually her weakness. And I've never actually looked at it like that until now. Where is she at? Okay. Yeah, just get behind there. Yeah, this boss fight ain't too bad. Surprised how well we're doing it. I mean, to be fair, there's probably going to be multiple phases. I think every boss fight's had multiple phases thus far. Which, hey, not for nothing, but I know this isn't considered the most in-depth whatever game. Let's see here. But like I always tend to, because I'm playing Harvestella along all these other games I'm recording or whatever. Harvestella's bosses don't have phases. Like, not for nothing, but they really don't have anything going on, as far as I'm aware. And it's effing absurd that that Square Enix, this well-known JRPG, freaking powerhouse, basically, for the life of them, just did so horribly with that game. Oh, nope. There we go. Okay, there's a debuff paired with it. Like, out of my way, that skill is actually not bad if there's multiple enemies or the enemies are just large. It's just, it paired with like every other small range. Oh, this ain't gonna be fun. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we finally see what the next phase is all about. I can actually stun her though. That's good. But it's got the same issues a lot of pinprick skills in this game do. It's hard to aim at. It really is. And I feel like that's constantly something I'm complaining about in this game. And it's probably the only complaint I have for this game, is that sometimes aiming is just BS. Like I was just saying, like, Harvestella doesn't even have like boss fight phases. And it's just a JRPG. Like, it's an action JRPG. They just didn't do it well. So it's astounding that this isn't me like crapping on this game. But it's a lot more basic than what most people would expect when they're like, hey, let's pick up a action RPG. Because at the end of the day, this is a very basic action RPG that's meant to be a roguelite. Honestly, I could just be playing it safe the entire time. I just, as usual, anytime I'm playing one of these boss fights, it's like, no, I'd rather be loosey-goosey. I technically just need to run around doing that skill. That's all I need to be doing. I will win this fight if I do that. Yeah. Oh no, it's a showcase of the fact that even though this is a spin-off game, they actually cared about it. Yeah, I need to stay out of melee range, don't I? Just is what it is at the end of the day. I don't know. Can you switch up skills in the middle of battle? I think you might be able to. That's funny. Oh well, it's whatever. But yeah, it's the difference between a passionate dev and a dispassionate one. And it seems like Square Enix, I mean, in a lot of their games, they've been very unpassionate for a while now. But it's starting to leak out into a lot of their games. Like, a lot. Oop, new phase. Okay. Oh, right. I forgot about that bit. 100% forgot about that. Yeah. Me forgetting that one bit may have been very, very unwise, not for nothing. Yeah, well, honestly though, I think if I keep playing a bit smarter, it shouldn't be too bad. especially considering I can heal. And what's more, like, even these, like, hazards or whatever that I'm dealing with, like, the boss is built for this arena. Something I don't think a single boss in, Harvestella was ever built for. Like I mentioned that the first boss we fought against, the boss was not built for the arena it was in, and their mechanics honestly just don't work in the arena they're in overall. Which is just absurd. Why would you build a boss arena and not properly build around the arena, like, mechanics-wise? It should have been basic, like, game design 101. The boss should work in this... The boss is set up here, so obviously their attacks should work this way with here. It doesn't need to be super complex. But as was showcased in Harvestella, the mere fact that the boss had a dash attack that moved them from one edge to the other meant they didn't work in the arena because they made the arena too big for that. And you would just not stay locked onto the boss when the boss is dashing around. The entire point of the lockout system was completely removed because they just didn't design the arena correctly. And that should just be a very easy to comprehend aspect of designing your boss. Like, the entirety of this boss fight is set up around this arena. It's not difficult. Like, both design philosophy when it came to how their moves work, as well as, like, how the arena looks, are designed for this boss. Like, although the arena for the earlier two bosses didn't super get into their mechanics, the first boss it kind of did, where, like, they'd go out of range hidden beyond water to send out ads or whatever, other enemies to attack you. Philosophy-wise, like, just design philosophy, both this arena, actually all three arenas, just properly encapsulate what the boss is. None of these bosses feel like, oh, they shouldn't really be in this room. Why are they here? Oh. Oy vey. I thought I was good. We're really gonna have to play, like, super far away until we can get that snack time heal going. Just hoping for that heal buff. Yeah, this room looks like an area Ice Witch would be in. The arena for the last boss looked like an area that a big wrestler dude would be in a fantasy setting. The, like, creek and, like, cave area for the first boss looks like an area a giant hermit crab would be in. Not a single boss fight from Harvestella has been like that. It's not complicated. It's so absurd that they just messed up gameplay philosophy-wise in every step. I am honestly amazed how much they drop the ball consistently and constantly in that game. Okay, game, seriously, Snack time is, like, buff the heck up. Like, I'm certain the healing freaking buff is not super common, but, like, it should have popped by now. Oy vey, come on. Like, seriously. Hashtag rude, man. Oh well, it's just what we're dealing with right now. Part of the reason I actually like the farmer is she can self-heal from the get-go. Yeah, try to get a few attacks off, I guess. Just gotta play super safe now. Oh, I say as I get hit because I freaking set off my skill a bit too close to the boss. Oh, we may actually lose this. Gosh dang it. It depends if I can actually get the buff going or not. Like, pretty certain. Yeah, well. Like, what is the pool of skills it can pull from when it tries to, buff you? Like, where are the various buffs? Okay, there we go. Get it, got it good. Oh, all those missed because she was like, coming out of her animation. Whatever. At least we got some health back. Oh, and there's another one. Good. Yeah. I think we're officially good enough to start back up on the offense. Honestly, grazing blows will probably be a lot smarter against her. As long as I don't forget the fact she can, yeah, like, her entire setup is just... Yeah, this arena just works perfectly for her. I'm amazed. And I hate the fact that I'm amazed because it's very basic gameplay philosophy, especially in an action game like this. This isn't anything absurd or new. This is what it should be. But the fact, like, what it should be is astounding to me. Kind of showcases a lot of the games I've been playing recently. Which is just upsetting in a lot of different ways. Like, a lot of different ways, to be perfectly honest. Oh, well, I think we got this in the bag. As long as I don't idiotically get hit by something, I should easily be able to dodge. Which I'm prone to doing. Like, that is par for the course for me. Like, I've gone on record multiple times. I'm not good at video games. I'm good at frickin' being stubborn enough to finish a game. Like, powering through it. And that's why I like frickin' RPGs. Because it rewards how stubborn I am at the end of the day. The fact that I'm willing to put in effort even while I'm not talented at it. Because, like, I'm going to be honest, I don't think I'm ever going to be the kind of dude that can just rock an action game like, say, Devil May Cry or whatever. Or any other action game that's, like, highly skill-based. Bayonetta. I'd never be able to rock Bayonetta and get, like, absurd combos or anything and just plow through them. I'm just not skilled enough. I really ain't. I don't have the reaction time to be that skilled. Like, if it has leveling mechanics, I can at least plow through them to a large degree. With stats alone. And I think... There we go. That's something a lot of games could really use. I think that's the first, like, thing we've needed to get appraised on this entire, like, dungeon floor. Entire dungeon strata. Whatever. A lot of games should be willing to reward their players for putting in effort beyond just being skilled. It's just what I like about RPGs. Oh well, story time.
We face the harshest cold snap in recent memory. Not even our winter crops will grow in this weather. At this rate, our subjects will face starvation. I distributed our granary's emergency stores, but they devoured them immediately and demanded more. Please, give us food. You're the king. Isn't it your job to help us? Their words still ring in my ears. In hushed whispers, I hear them calling my daughter a winter witch, saying she cast an icy spell on us. They speak nothing but lies. My daughter simply loves the winter. She wanted to help them shovel snow, but I locked her away in her room. She mustn't see how their selfish thoughts have transformed them beyond all recognition.
Yeah, it was starting to get obvious what the heck's happening. The princess has a very naive view of the world, and honestly, that's par for the course, especially in a nearly idyllic kingdom before things started going wrong. So yeah, things started going wrong, really, really wrong.
I was shocked. Winter to me is a peaceful, pleasant season. I thought it would always stay that way, forever and ever. But like the snow itself, nothing lasts forever.
Winter is one of the harshest seasons. I say as a dude who has usually pretty harsh winters. So yeah, I like how the plot's starting to unfold. It's nice, enjoyable. Anyways, I think it's about time we, ooh, Burning Wasteland. We'll worry about this next episode. Because honestly, off screen, I think it's about time I started grinding. Maybe get everyone up to around 20-ish or so. That seems doable. I feel like the enemies are going to rock me if I don't do at least that. But yeah, get to a higher level. Outfit people. Some I haven't pointed out yet.
Just a moment ago. But it didn't last.
We're getting little add-on things around her crystal or whatever every time we beat a dungeon.
I saw 7 lights fly from the abyss.
Like, I don't know what it was for the first dungeon because I wasn't looking for it.
If only the king and
But the second one added this little turnip dude. And now we have snowmen. It's nice. It was probably maybe the balloons were from the first dungeon. I don't know. Whatever. Let's appraise stuff. Get that appraised.
Is it something you wanted?
Is it? A Lonely Hearts memory. I think that's Pugilist, yeah. Grapple pack. Oh, we're starting to get
Just imagining
bonuses to specific skills and stuff via gear. That's nice.
You did it!
It is actually very... Oh wait, was there another one? Okay. There we go.
Incredible.
Yeah, I think at this point we're gonna have to level up off screen. Do all the usual nonsense I tend to do off screen, which is usually just inventory management nonsense.
Thank you.
Anyways, guys, it's been fun. I think we're making pretty good progress in this game, all things considered.
I can't wait to see the finished product.
Like, yeah, I know I'm leveling / grinding off screen or whatever, but
the bounties of
I think we're just plowing through this even with that in mind.
I can hardly wait to see how it
It's not like it's annoying to grind or plow through this game. It's a fun game. It really is. So, yeah. I'll talk to you guys in another episode of Silent Hope. But until then, ciao.
Production will continue to advance while